The moment she screamed, I knew I'd won. Not because I wanted to hurt her, not because I was angry, but because that sound, raw, high-pitched, full of disbelief, was the exact moment she realized her entire world had been rebuilt without her in it. And I didn't even have to yell. I didn't have to fight. I just walked away. And in doing so, I took everything. It started with a lie wrapped in self-help jargon, a weekend in the woods, a healing retreat with her male best friend. A guy who calls himself a lifestyle architect, but hasn't paid his own rent in 5 years. His idea of productivity is burning sage and telling people to vibe higher. And somehow, this man had convinced my fiancée that spending 2 days alone with him in a cabin was the key to saving our relationship. Jessica stood in the middle of our half-finished living room, dust in the air, paint peeling, wires hanging from the ceiling like veins. I was on a ladder, patching drywall. The same drywall I'd hung on weekends for the past 6 months. This house wasn't just a project, it was my life. I bought it 3 years before I ever met her. I poured every dollar I made into it, every weekend, every holiday, every birthday. I did it all for us, for the wedding, for the future, for the perfect home. And then she looked up at me, serious, like she'd just downloaded enlightenment from TikTok, and said, "My soul feels cluttered." I almost laughed. "Did you look in your closet again?" She ignored me. "Tristan and I are going on a retreat this weekend, just the two of us. We're going to reconnect with our authentic selves." I paused, putty knife in hand. "So, you're spending the weekend alone with your male best friend to fix our relationship?" "It's not about you," she said. "It's about me. I need to heal. I need to grow. I need to be the best version of myself for us." That last part almost got me. Almost, but I saw through it. She wasn't doing this for us. She was doing this for him. And she wanted my blessing like it was some kind of spiritual trophy. I wiped my hands on a rag, looked around at the house I'd been killing myself for, at the marble countertop she picked out after 3 weeks of energy testing each sample, at the custom cabinets I built by hand, and I realized something. None of it mattered to her. Not really. She saw this place as hers by default, like my work was just the stage for her personal journey. So I said 2 words, "Okay, enjoy." She blinked, like she expected a fight, tears, a breakdown. But I gave her nothing. No drama, no anger, just calm. And that scared her more than yelling ever could. She kissed me on the cheek, quick, dry, like she was checking a box, and left the next morning. Tristan picked her up in his beat-up Honda with the Coexist bumper sticker and the air freshener shaped like a palm tree. I watched them drive away from the porch, and the second that car turned the corner, something in me just switched off. Not love, not hope, just the last thread of denial. I didn't go back to the drywall. I went to my office and called Frank. Frank runs a real estate investment firm. We've worked together for years. He flips houses, big ones, fast ones. He knows quality when he sees it. And he knew this one. The mid-century modern in the hills, the one I'd been renovating for over a year. "Frank," I said, "I want to sell it today, as is cash offer. I want the paperwork signed by 5 p.m. Silence. Then, "Everything okay, Mark?" "Never better," I said. "I'm just decluttering my life." He didn't ask questions, just ran the numbers, knew the value, knew what I'd put into it, offered 15% below market, but all cash, no contingencies, closing in 10 days. "Done," I said, "send the docs." While his team worked, I went to a hardware store and bought 20 heavy-duty moving boxes. Then I started packing, not in a rage, not throwing things, methodically, carefully, every pair of shoes, every yoga mat, every self-help book with a pastel cover and a title like "Breathe into Your Third Eye." I labeled each box. Jessica's things, neat, organized, respectful. By 6 p.m., the sale was final, the contract was signed, and in the middle of the living room, where our future was supposed to happen, stood a perfect pyramid of 20 boxes, her entire life, packed, and ready to go. I printed a copy of the sales agreement, put it in a manila envelope, placed it in the center of the kitchen island, the one she spent a month choosing. Then I packed my own bag, locked the door for the last time, and checked into a hotel. Downtown, ordered the most expensive steak on room service, ate it slowly, drank a glass of wine, slept 8 hours straight. First time in a year, I didn't wake up wondering what I'd done wrong. She got back Sunday night, refreshed, healed, reconnected with her authentic self. Her phone started blowing up my old device at 8:05 p.m., the one I left behind, plugged in, recording. I didn't watch, but I got the alerts. Motion detected, front door opens. First text, call me now. Then, Mark, what is this? What did you do? Then a string of 15 question marks, like punctuation could fix what she'd broken. Calls came next, voicemails. The first was just a scream, pure, primal. I saved it, set it as my ringtone. The second was sobbing. This isn't funny. You have to fix this. Then, at 9 p.m., an unknown number. I answered, put it on speaker. Mark, said Tristan. His voice was shaky, not zen, not peaceful, panicked. You need to come back. Jessica's losing it. She's Hersheying the whole vibe. What's going on with the paperwork? I sold the house, I said. Silence. Dude, you what? That's not very aligned with abundance. I'm sure the new owners will appreciate your sage ceremony, I said. Tell Jessica she has until noon tomorrow to remove her things. After that, they're abandoned property. The cleaning crew handles it. Mark, come on, he said. She has expensive stuff. This is bad energy. You're creating karmic debt. I laughed. My karma's fine, yours? I'd start manifesting a U-Haul. Hung up. The texts kept coming. She cycled through every stage of grief in one night. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, never reached acceptance, just rage and disbelief. Next morning, her dad called, soft-spoken lawyer, tried to intimidate me. You can't just sell a marital asset out from under her, he said. It's not marital, I said. It's mine, my name on the deed, my money, my labor. We're not married. We were engaged, not anymore. We'll see about that in court, he said. Great, I said. We can talk about the house, or we can talk about the $4,000 she spent on a healing retreat with her lover while living in my home. We can talk about the texts, the photos, the fact that you're now paying for her apartment above a laundromat because she's broke, homeless, and humiliated. Silence, long one. Then, quietly, she needs her things. Noon tomorrow, I said. Tell Tristan to bring help. I drove by the house later. There was a small moving truck. Tristan was struggling with a box, face red, back bent. Jessica stood on the curb, yelling at him. No healing, no chakras, just sweat, stress, and regret. It was beautiful. A week later, the story started spreading. She went on social media, long, tearful post. My controlling fiancé threw me out for wanting to heal my soul. Painted herself as a victim of a cold, materialistic man who couldn't support her growth. Got a lot of sympathy at first. Then mutual friends started talking. People who knew how hard I worked, who saw me on weekends, covered in dust, fixing her dream kitchen. So I posted one photo, no caption at first. Just the living room, the pyramid of boxes, everything she owned, packed neatly, labeled, untouched. Then I added, did some decluttering. The soul feels much lighter now. That single post destroyed her narrative because it wasn't rage, it wasn't cruelty, it was order, it was finality, and people saw it. Her followers turned, comments flooded in. Wait, he packed her stuff? He didn't throw anything out? She left for a weekend and expected to come back to a mansion? Then her dad sent my lawyer a list of demands, half the sale proceeds, lease on her SUV, therapy payments, fiancé alimony. My lawyer read it and laughed, then sent back the deed, a full renovation cost breakdown, and a bill for the moving. Company I hired when Tristan bailed halfway through. But the best part? Watching her and Tristan implode. She moved in with him, into his parents' basement, Star Wars poster on the wall, spiritual sanctuary with a pull-out couch and a shared bathroom. Turns out, manifesting abundance doesn't pay the electric bill. They fought constantly. She expected him to support her. He expected her to raise her frequency and attract money. His parents got tired of the screaming, gave them an ultimatum. Tristan chose meatloaf over soulmate, kicked her out. Now she's living with her parents. Her dad co-signed a lease for a tiny apartment above a laundromat. She's furious about the downgrade. From a hilltop home with a view to a place where the dryer buzzes all night. 6 months later, I went to the city planning department to file permits for a new project. Long line, boring wait. Then I saw her. Behind a plexiglass window, city employee polo, hair pulled back, no makeup, no sparkle, just exhaustion. She was stamping forms, explaining zoning laws to angry homeowners. The woman who wanted to free her soul was now trapped in the most soul-crushing job on earth. My number was called. I walked up to her window. She looked up, saw me, frozen. I placed my paperwork in the tray. Good morning, I'm here to file a permit for a commercial build-out at 125 Elm Street. She stared, mouth open, couldn't speak. Is there a problem? I asked, polite. It's a standard application. Everything's in order. She snapped out of it, face turned red, took the papers, hands shaking, stamped them hard. Like she was punishing the paper, slid them back. 6 to 8 weeks, she mumbled. Thank you. I said, cheerful, have a great day. And I walked away. No smirk, no victory dance, just peace. That was the real revenge. Not the sale, not the boxes, not the social media war. It was seeing her, broken, humbled, powerless, while I stood there, calm, successful, free. I didn't destroy her. She did that to herself. I just stopped pretending it wasn't happening. And sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is walk away.